Signal and WhatsApp have spent years building a reputation as the gold standard of digital privacy. Their communications are secured by end-to-end encryption, mathematical algorithms so complex that cracking them would take supercomputers thousands of years. Yet right now, Russian intelligence operatives are actively reading the private group chats of the world's top military commanders and government officials. The underlying encryption remains intact. No one discovered a zero-day exploit in the code or the cryptographic protocols. A zero-day exploit is a cyber attack that targets a software vulnerability unknown to the developers or the public. Instead, the attackers compromise the system by manipulating the person holding the device. When an encryption protocol fails, systems detect the breach and raise alarms. But when a lock is bypassed through deception, the user continues sending sensitive information, completely unaware that someone else is sitting in the room with them. The threat is severe enough that the FBI and CISA issued a joint urgent advisory. CISA is the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. They tracked a massive espionage campaign, compromising thousands of secure accounts globally. The MIVD and AIVD, the military and domestic intelligence services of the Netherlands, soon corroborated the alert, confirming that their own government employees and defense personnel had already been compromised by the operation. In the United States, the stakes became highly visible during what became known as Signalgate, an incident where top officials, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, were scrutinized for using these commercial apps to exchange classified information. This exact behavior makes them prime targets for interception. On the ground, the operational risks are immediate and lethal. Russian state hackers have aggressively targeted the Signal accounts of Ukrainian military personnel to intercept communications about battlefield logistics, defense plans, and real-time troop movements. These operations allow foreign intelligence to capture the classified state secrets that dictate geopolitical stability, turning a personal messaging app into a primary source for strategic intelligence. To understand how this works, we have to look at the attack surface from the perspective of a penetration tester. A Russian threat cluster known as Star Blizzard, a state-sponsored hacking group, realized that exploiting software code is difficult and expensive. Exploiting human logic is cheap and highly effective. Their first method relies on a manufactured crisis. The bot instructs the user to secure their account by completing a verification process. To do this, the target is asked to hand over the 6-digit SMS verification code sent to their phone and sometimes their personal account PIN. With those two pieces of information, the attacker immediately registers a new device using the victim's phone number. The legitimate user is instantly locked out of their own account, while the attacker gains total control to read incoming messages and impersonate the target. Because apps like Signal store chat history locally on the physical device rather than in the cloud, a victim who eventually re-registers their phone number will see all their previous conversations sitting exactly as they left them. Seeing that intact local history creates a powerful, false sense of relief. The user assumes the hack was unsuccessful or that nothing was compromised, missing the fact that their incoming communications were actively monitored during the lockout window. The second major attack vector bypasses the login process entirely by exploiting a built-in convenience tool, the linked devices feature, which allows users to connect a secondary tablet or computer to their primary WhatsApp or Signal account. Instead of asking for a PIN, the hackers send the target a fake QR code, disguised as an invitation to a secure group chat. Hidden beneath the visual pattern of the QR code is malicious JavaScript designed to initiate a man-in-the-middle attack. A man-in-the-middle attack is a technique where an attacker secretly intercepts and relays communications between two parties. When the victim scans the code, they don't join a group. Instead, they silently authorize a Russian-controlled device to mirror their account. The secondary ghost device links up in the background without triggering any visible alarms on the victim's phone. Unlike the support bot exploit, the primary user is never logged out or locked out. They continue using their app normally, entirely unaware that every message they send and receive is being copied and routed to a foreign intelligence server in real time. By weaponizing the exact mechanism designed to make chatting across multiple screens seamless, the attackers transform a standard app feature into a permanent, undetectable wiretap. End-to-end encryption protects data while it travels through the pipeline of the internet. But the strongest encryption pipeline is useless if the human at the endpoint essentially opens the door and invites a spy into the room. State-sponsored actors rely on the fact that human psychology is easier to hack than mathematics, and if top U.S. defense officials and trained Dutch intelligence operatives can fall victim to these carefully crafted social engineering tactics, the average user is highly vulnerable. To ensure your own communications aren't being mirrored, you need to open your messaging app settings right now and navigate to the Linked Devices menu. Review the list of active browsers, tablets, or computers authorized to access your account. If you see a device, location, or login time that you do not personally recognize, remove its access immediately. Above all, establish a personal, absolute rule of digital security. No legitimate app support team will ever contact you through a chat message to ask for your 6-digit verification code or your PIN. In the modern era of cyber warfare, the perimeter of your defense isn't defined by the mathematical complexity of an app's code. It is defined entirely by your own skepticism.